Hello and good evening or good morning, depending on where you are when you're watching this. You're either re-watching it on YouTube or you're with us here at the Tauntaun Squadron on YouTube for another XTC 2021 game. This is Sith Holocron from the Tauntaun Squadron, and I'm delighted to say that in the commentary booth with me to date is Mr. Gary. Gary is the team captain of Team Ireland, and I'm delighted that he's joined us in the booth. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Excellent.
Excited for our next wing.
I am really, really looking forward to this match. If you've been keeping up with the XTC, good. If you haven't, why not? Because that's ridiculous. This is the biggest team tournament online in the world for Star Wars X-Wing. And it is 38 countries from every single continent I can name, and I can name them all. It is pretty good. And Ireland are paired up with like Wales, who we beat in round one, and we were then paired up with Colombia, and we beat them too. And so us and England, who we're also paired up with, are top of the group of Group C. But this is our third game, and this is against Croatia. So tonight's game is between Jonathan Beattie from Ireland, who is flying a Scum and Villainy list at 199 points, giving Stjepan Pavuna the initiative, as Jonathan wants to go first, and that's the reason why his list is 199 to hopefully give him that bid. So in this game, he's got it. So thank you, Gary, for that pairing. And Stjepan has bought out the Galactic Republic with a couple of 104th Battalion pilots and Obi and Anakin. So it looks like the game is off. So I shall jump quickly in there and start the clock. So this could be a corker, I think.
I think we're in for a very entertaining game.
I would agree.
I would not like calling this game.
I'd say this is one of our close. Go on, go call it. Call it now while there's only seconds on the table.
Oh,
Ireland. There you go. I nail it to the mast.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to show my bias.
Oh,
can't do that.
That's off the board.
It was a boost. It just undoes the boost.
So please undo that, sir. That's not going to be the best start in the world. So failed action. So there you go. And that is how that is.
Target lock with this standard action.
So hello, Jenny in chat. Good to see you. Hello, Tundra and Bee Soldier. My man Dodo from Germany. One of the nicest people I have met playing X-Wing. Welcome to the channel. And he's good, Gary. He can be bad when he wants to be, but he is good, Gary. And Agath from Finland. So there we go. We have people from Ireland and Germany and Finland already. So welcome. You are all more than welcome. Gary, I'm going to ask you to go through the lists. And I know that you love your Republic. So why don't you give us a wee idea of the list that Stjepan has bought for Croatia?
Okay, so he's brought yet another variation of the four-ship Republic. He's gone for double arc, supported by Obi in the CLT Aether Sprite, and Anakin in the ETA with the very, very common build now of R787, plus auto blasters and marksmanship for a total of 200. So kind of pairs the beef of the arcs with a couple of pocket aces as flankers or support. Yeah, another iteration of a very standard Republic list that seems to be doing the right.
Yeah, so I think that's quite a good build. I love the auto crit builds on either Obi or Annie. Either or, very good, depending. And if you've got both, then it's just down to choice. But you would probably always go with the one going last normally. But here we go. Beattie's list, Jonathan Beattie from Carrick in Northern Ireland. His list has been talked about on several streams already, and I'll go through that one. So he is running as Zuvio with Protectorate Gleb for a little bit of coordinating and a bit of tractor beaming. Proximity Mines, 2 of on the Tug. Boba Fett, love this build. Like a slimline Boba Fett, you don't often see them for under 100 points, but he has Fearless, the free jamming beam, 2 seismic charges, which are excellent, probably in this list, and a hull upgrade to make him harder to kill, and then Dengar with ion torpedoes, auto blasters for himself, Zam Vessel, and Greedo for the crits. So an excellent build there with Dengar, and he only comes on at 65. So he's got the ability to bait in with his ship. He's got the ability to run round circles of the ships. The dials on the arcs are not very mobile at all. Things can go very close to asteroids, and that's where Zuvio kicks in. It's a very unique scum list.
Yeah, so you mentioned a bit there earlier. We were really glad to get it, not because we think that we can ace this in any way, but it severely hampers the Republic's ability to ace this. The fact that, Anakin is moving before Dengar, Obi-Wan is moving before both of them. They have to make their decisions early.
Yep.
So we thought that was a rather significant advantage for us. I get it. He's packed every piece of value into that Republic list. The arcs are just excellent value at 42 points. Obi-Wan, you're not getting any slimmer in the Aether Sprite.
No, but I have not decided whether I think CLT is a good thing or not.
Oh, I love it. I think it's one of the more underused upgrades over 7B. The fact that you don't lose the agility is amazing.
Yep.
The damage output, if you can fly it well, is more consistent than having the 3 reds.
Yep.
The only downside here is, he is flying with no bid. If he could have even squeezed, 1 or 2 points just for the likes of this game to even have a dice off and have a chance at it, I think he would have been in a much better position.
Yep. Well, early doors. That's two rounds. Go on, sir.
Well, usually you find that to get that, you would probably drop down one of the arcs to something slightly smaller, maybe a Y-wing or something like what would you call the popular one that I don't like that has the side arc, I3.
Oh, the I3, yeah. Not bad. I can't see anything bad here. Because we've actually got pews, and there's a
first shot.
We've got a first shot, and it's a crit and an eye. And he's just gonna spin that and make that nice and easy. Look at that, easy peasy. All good. And thank you, gentlemen, for taking the dice out of the box. I appreciate that a great deal. So, early doors, not too much really happening. Good evening, Ranforth 77. Croatia representing. Go Stiv. Dodo says Germany is at the minute winning against the 3-arc Annie version. Congratulations. Germany have started quite slowly, in my opinion, but like they do in football, just get better and better and better, which probably is not good for the other teams in the XTC. And the one and only comeback king of X-Wing Online, Mr. Carson Ray, is in the chat. Hello, sir. Hope you're doing well. Some scrub from the States looking to see how this game is played. Yep. We'll give you all the tips. Tip number 1, don't leave it to the last shot in your round. But that game I saw you coming back for was some of the best X-Wing flying I've ever seen. So kudos to Mr. Ray. So where do you think they're going to end up? Because that's very fast. I know the arcs are almost fortressing. Almost, but not quite. At least they're bumping. But
so I would be very surprised if the scum player actually commits here with Boba. I would say it's more likely that he will try to present his rear and stay a bit more cagey. So there's a likelihood that Dengar comes in with like a 3-bank to try and catch Anakin at range 3 with those ion torpedoes.
Yep, that would be very good for Team
If I am
Ireland.
not very much mistaken, I would suggest that Zuvio is just going to coordinate Dengar here.
Oh, absolutely. When he's that far away from the action from the Galactic Republic,
he's never going to engage this round.
Not a chance. Do something nice, take the stress. Not a problem. I'd like to see a good bank away here on behalf of Ireland.
So I think there's a chance that Anakin probably does a hard one here to try to get a flank in a Boba if he commits.
Will he commit though?
Oh no! Well,
you see, that's the thing. So barrel roll to the left using his force action. So we'll probably see maybe a 3-bank in.
I would say a hard 2 here to hide behind that debris,
which is also a very, very valid tactic indeed. Debris also giving anybody who doesn't know how to play this dice, red dice or attack dice, green are how to evade anything that gets hit. Range bonuses at range 3 give you an extra green, and if you're hiding behind a debris or those lovely gas clouds that you can see at the top of the screen, you get an extra dice as well. And if we need to tell them that you can get an evade through the gas clouds, well, I just have. So the guys are still pretty much, those arcs are glued together. Must be very close clones, maybe from the same batch. So there you go. You called that perfectly. A coordinate from Zuvio to give Dengar a focus. So maybe something good here.
All the banks on the Jumpmaster to the left are blue. So that stress, I would imagine, is going away very soon.
Very soon. And that is one of the really good key critical components of this list, as far as I've seen him play all 3 games now and been managed to stream all 3 games, which is pretty good. So a nice little move there from Obi-Wan to kind of stick close to the 2 arcs. I don't mind that at all. He's spending a force to barrel roll in behind Anna. Fine, nothing wrong with that either.
Still being very cagey with arcs. I would be worried that red is looking to be very isolated soon.
Well, unfortunately, there's a bank from Boba to the right, so not presenting a rear arc at the moment.
No, it's just the one that I was considering. So there is a chance here that he may try. Oh no, he can't barrel roll.
He cannot barrel roll. It's boost only on the fire sprays.
So I mean, he could attempt a boost, but no, I think that's a safer play.
I think that's a much safer play, to be fair. And then Dengar does a 3 straight. Has got his focus. And I'd be quite happy maybe leaving him there at the minute.
Oh, yes.
Oh, absolutely leave him there. So, in chat, Carson Ray went, well, I'm only 50% lucky. Imagine if I was 100% Irish. Good man. Good man. I think if that happens, when you go to whenever the next Worlds happens to be, I will bring you over a shamrock from over here and then put about £14,000 or dollars on you to win. So we have pews. And it is an obstructed shot at range 2 from Anakin.
So I wonder, will he use the droid to take this crit? Because I don't believe he is in Boba's arc. Boba's arc. He did. So his roll is irrelevant.
Yeah, roll irrelevant. Shieldy McShield. But not that bad, really. I mean, it is what it is. Now, being a captain, should he check to see his own arc, to see if he is in arc before anything else happens, or just...
It's practice too, but I think we can safely say
that's.
Although,
so current shield.
Yeah, there's the shield being taken.
Yeah. Now there's
discussing.
there has been a bit of discussion on the rule changes and stuff like that. That I know you've got a bee in your bonnet about the stress being added. That if you don't set a dial, that's not what I'm going to ask. Though. What I'm going to
Good. Yes,
ask.
it was that stage.
Yeah, that was a rather large debate across a lot of discords at the minute. The main one is the Critbot build that Stjepan has bought. Has he wasted a charge? This was the discussion I was having on one of the discords today. It's just taken a shield, which that hit would have already done, and now he's down,
I mean,
and it's
well, no,
not in the
wouldn't
hole.
have. Bubba rolled 2 eyeballs and had a focus, so that was guaranteed damage.
True, but is it a waste when there is only one?
No. Like I think with that one as it is, and Boba is healthy, with as much health as he is, every damage counts. This is the kind of damage that's going to matter towards the end of the game, whenever you're looking for half points or looking for that final point to kill or whatever. No, like you're only going to get so many chances to actually use those charges. You're not always going to be so lucky to get an out of arc shot. So you take those opportunities when you have them.
Yep, and especially when you are in a 3-hull ship, which is
exactly.
maybe why.
I mean, it plays into the whole. If you're taking 4 shots and you roll an eyeball in the first, you spend your focus. Of course you do. You might not roll anymore. Of course you might roll 2, but you take the guaranteed evade whenever you have it.
Yep. So next turn, dials are we're back to the planning section of the game. To be absolutely fair, I would love to see a 2. Where do you want Boba to go here? Because I know I'd much rather go north on the screen and head to the far end of the board, up where the damage decks are.
So my only issue with that is the fact that Anakin has auto blasters. Those auto blasters often mean that you don't actually want to show your rear arc to them. So I would actually like to see maybe just a 1 bank right from Boba.
Yep.
Hug that debris. It protects his flank against Anakin coming in with those auto blasters again.
Yep.
There is a good chance that he bumps, but if he does bump, that means Anakin's not shooting him. He still gets a re-roll from the 1 chip at range 1. I think Boba is happier with that bump than Anakin is.
Oh, absolutely. I would agree with that.
No, hold on. Boba gets to move first, so
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
so he gets
his action. Yeah. So I am maybe even a 2 bank.
I was thinking that if you were going to go, the arcs aren't probably going to get 2 shots into him. I mean, they might, but it's
the thing is that debris there is offering some amount of protection, because I don't think Anakin has. He possibly has the option to barrel roll left and bank or back in, but I think that a barrel roll and a bank probably clips that cloud, and you don't want to. I mean, you've still got Anakin's ability. You could remove that stress, but I think he'd rather not. If he could, you're running the risk of rolling that crit.
Absolutely.
So I would imagine if we see a pre-position here, it's probably a boost forward.
So in chat, the ever lovely Jenny, who I remember very well winning a regional way back when in version 1. 1 bank to the right gives options for a seismic next turn, which is true. In the Rathadog, a 3 bank right boost from Boba might not be terrible. Well, that's a big commit. But then, as you say, Anakin could easily boost through to block and then 4K. So yes, there's this is the reason why in the XTC you got to be a good player to make the team, and very few people in this tournament. And I've watched a lot of games in this. Most people don't make huge critical mistakes, but we now have movement, I believe. No, that's just Zuvio getting.
I'm actually interested in is Zuvio's maneuver here. he's not going to commit strong with Zuvio.
No.
But I would like to see him turn in some degree, and those arcs need to start becoming relevant at some point. So I see a hard 2 from red, and let's see if I think forward clears that debris. I would say we're probably looking at like a 4 forward from yellow.
If he's going to commit, that is exactly what I would do. I certainly wouldn't be wanting to do like a 1, just where that red target lock from the arc is. It's very difficult to see where the edge of that debris cloud is.
So it is definitely possible then that Boba does in fact turn away, and then he tries to get in behind the Dengar. It'll all come down to what Jonathan thinks is going to happen with those arcs.
Well, he has rechanged his mind on Zuvio. He had Zuvio set. Zuvio is now reset. In saying that, Anakin has not been set at all, but now has. So I think that is the new update. Now tells me on the chat that all dials have now been set. So that will probably be the arcs.
No, there's Obi-Wan been reset again.
Yep. So people often wonder why top players take their time. This next round could have a lot of shooting. It could have a lot of consequence for the rest of the game. So it is best to kind of make your mind up. Are you going to hold off for a bit? Are you going to commit half of your fleet? Or are you going to commit totally? And by the end of this movement phase, we will see which both players have done. Dials have been set again. Jonathan hasn't moved, so it looks like it's all done. And it is activation time. So
this pre-position will tell us a lot about what. Yeah, so I think that fairly clearly telegraphs the 4K from Anakin.
I would agree that the 4K is highly imminent. And I think Obi will maybe go 2 forward with his thing. So you're completely right about the hard 2 left. There's a 2 forward coming up. I wasn't too sure about the debris either, but knowing that he could do it, that's very good flying from Stjepan. No bank in from Zuvio, but is that to make sure that he gives the focus to Dengar? Because if Dengar isn't shooting, there's no point in getting the stress. But I can't see Zuvio being shot anyway. So this is going to be
Zuvio has kept that stress, so I would say Dengar is doing a hard 3 here.
That would be
because it is white.
It is white.
Give them the option.
So that's an interesting position for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Will he boost in, or is he going to try and take a target lock?
That looks like a target lock.
I think he's going for the target lock, and there you go. Takes it off the pointless debris cloud and puts it on to.
Okay.
So hard 2 from Boba.
I'd like to see a boost here.
I'd love to see a boost here. That would show some real top level play. Making it at least range 3s. And there we go. You get exactly what you wanted if he clicks that button, which he does. So it's boost straight. And if Anakin has done a 4K, which he has, he is now completely out of position, and Dengar now safe. Boba now safe. Okay, I don't think he's getting shot from anybody.
If we're getting a range 1, so he's obviously going to spend his force to remove that stress, but then he has a very interesting decision.
Yes. Next turn is going to be highly critical for Croatia about where teenage Anakin is, because this is the Galactic Republic. We have, Ewan McGregor's playing Obi-Wan, and nobody can really remember the name of. There you go, because the stress is gone, so that's a doable maneuver, but that is 2 force gone and no mods. Just the 1 hard from Dengar, and at the minute I would say no shots, yet. Worth it to boost to try and get a shot into that unmodded 1-4 Stanigan?
If he had a boost, right?
Yep. But he can't, because that'd be cheating.
Very close.
So
Big
he's
guy's
going
got
to try
barrel
for a
roll.
target lock and gets nothing. But also knows he's not getting shot back. So this
So,
may be.
Red Arc might have a shot. I
He,
can't see the arc
he
from
may.
here.
We know Dengar can't get a shot because he has nothing in range 3. Obi-Wan Kenobi has nothing. Boba Fett has nothing. Red may. Yep, just at range 3. So 3-die attack from Stjepan. He's got focus, so single modded. And gets hit crit. That's not bad. At range 3, Boba will roll 3 dice, but unmodded himself, and gets 2 natural evades, and we've got a grand total of 0 damage done, and we've quite a bit of time has now gone. Let's have a look. I'm sure it is at least 20 minutes has passed. 25 minutes, so we're just coming up to 50 minutes to go, and after quite a cagey start, would you say it's kind of cagey? Like a few long range efforts, but nothing too bad, really.
Yeah, I think this has gone pretty much as could be expected.
I agree.
I'm slightly surprised that the arcs did not have more of a frontal approach, and the fact that the aces were actually the ones that chose to win. But he's done a nice bait and switch there, so and I would say there's a good chance that Boba's going to 4K here. He's not going to be in the fight until 2 rounds.
Two more rounds from this, at least. I agree completely. Good news for Croatia is that the Arcs are now in a much better position than they were the round before previously. So that's well done indeed. Carson says, yikes, that's a bit of an overcommit by Annie. And Seismic seems anti-synergistic with the tugboat. Now, Gary, you helped build this list with Jonathan. Do you want to tell him why the Seismics are there?
So, we kind of envision this as Boba being the endgame ship. So really, those seismics are not there for early damage usually. And yeah, you're completely correct. They are anti-synergistic with the tugboat, but generally the tugboat just doesn't survive to the end game because people want to take those proxies off as soon as possible. So yeah, you're correct. But in the end game, we would rather have them than not. It did come down to we didn't really consider the proton bombs instead, but thought that the 1 point bid would be relevant. And this is the second time where Jonathan has got bid because of that 1 point.
And the first time he got it, he won. So it has made a considerable difference to how he can fly. So decision making wise makes that a bit better.
He lost the one game he had bid.
Oh, did he lose the first one?
Yeah.
So he did. Yeah. That's right. Maybe he should just keep it then. Anyway, back to dials. We're back down here, and I am a bit concerned that Annie will barrel roll to the right, probably knowing that Boba is going to 4K, and then try and get a little bank in to maybe shoot at Dengar, as the Zam crew has not yet been triggered because Dengar hasn't been shot at. I think the arcs will actually.
I mean,
I think Red will go quite seriously forward.
I would be very concerned as a Republic player. I would be very concerned about Zuvio and committing too hard to that channel. Obviously, not this turn, but if you commit too hard and leave yourself in a position where he can, maneuver in, tractor you, put you in a position you don't want to be, losing agility, and then Dengar's there to come in and mob up after him.
Yeah.
Also, landing yourself too close to that tugboat, getting a pizza in it, to the face. Nobody likes pizza in the face.
Nobody likes pizza in the face. At least it's not cake. It's probably tastes better. No offense to people who absolutely love cake. I do like a cake myself. Could the Boba 1 hard manage a boost?
Yeah,
Probably.
they could come
Probably.
back through that gap.
Yep. Possibly. I think the safer version is I genuinely reckon that Jonathan will do the 4K and come back in to maybe get behind Skywalker. But that'll be a couple of turns away, as Gary said. Looks like there we go. Yellow has bumped Obi, so there's that. So no action for him, but still in a good position. Zuvio does a 2 straight. Now, at this point, does he coordinate something onto Dengar?
No, almost definitely. I'd imagine Dengar is getting a focus here and will take the stress because I can't see any maneuver other than a blue maneuver that has been performed here.
Correct. Neither can I. So the red has made his little move. So that, to me, telegraphs that Obi's probably banking or hard turning in there, and he does. Hard one to the left. Maybe that's to allow Anakin to come in. He could also do a very similar move to what Obi did there. Deciding what to do for an action. So, as I say, you really enjoy Flying Republic. What do you think Croatia should do here?
Personally, I think I would be inclined to barrel roll out. You lose your CLT, probably, but if you give Dengar one single target to aim for both the aces, I think that's not doing you any favors.
No, I would agree with that.
So I would potentially barrel roll out and plan to come through that down the flank next turn.
Stjepan, however, disagrees totally with that statement and just takes a focus. There is, as expected, a 4K from Dengar. So out of the fight for this round at least. And Anakin
like that.
Does a 5 straight. Now that's interesting. I assume the boost. Yep. So
Dengar has just breathed a big sigh of relief here, I think.
Yep. Has Dengar got a shot?
He can rotate the turret if he wants to. I think at the minute. So the problem with rotating is it really limits his options for next turn. I think he potentially no, because Boba's coming in there. So he may just rotate the arc and take the arc shots. Problem being, because he has turned. I understand why he's turned. Obviously, you don't want to be face on to that debris.
Exactly. And he's also out of Obi-Wan's bullseye, which is kind of good. But there's still probably 3 shots coming into Dengar, and without arc, won't get to use either Dengar's ability or Zan's. So
he has barrel roll left available. He could take nothing here. Well, maybe not nothing, but yeah, I would be inclined to do exactly that and probably link that into a rotate.
So Dengar decides Anakin's horrible, puts target lock on him. And there is that linked option for the stress that he's already shed by doing a blue maneuver to rotate the turret. So
yeah. Nope. So he's just taking no shots.
Okay. So
I think that's strong in the case that he really wants to slip next turn.
I would completely agree with that as well. But then the sloop, are you talking about a sloop left?
Yeah, it's to the left, so it's straight towards Moby. So I would, if it was me, I would Yes, that Obi-Wan's going to do 3 forward to clear the stress and then boost forward.
So 2 hits there from Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that is the first shield off the Jumpmaster.
Yeah, I think you're okay with that. You'll pick up a charge on Zam.
Yep, should do.
The reveal of that card is in fact a mandatory trigger.
Yes, it is.
So, 1 second.
The Zam Vessel card, there are 2. You'd better mean business, which is where you can get 2 charges back on a return shot, or the other is you'd better thank me, and that is where you can get a target lock.
Target lucky one and the shitty one, and other than that, I don't know what they're called.
No, so it's you better mean business, and you should thank me. Yeah, but that's what they are, and it appears as the target lock has went off Anakin and on to Obi. That is that, and a charge on Zam. 3-die attack here. Oh, hit crits. Range 3, Dengar will roll 3 dice instead of his normal 2 for the range. And all of that is...
Or maybe he won't.
Or maybe he won't. Now, he took target lock, and why did he not... Oh dear. Okay, so blinded pilot there, and shields down. And down to 5 hull with blinded pilot. And here's some more. So that is 3 more hits. Sure. Oh dear. This is fantastic for Croatia.
I guess he's looked out there. Well, no. So forgetting to spend the focus on the first one for 2 results. Actually got 3 results
in the second. So 3 of 8, denying that focused 3 hits. So could have been worse. Dengar still okay. Score still 0-0. Jump into chat. Nothing really happened. Lots of people. Thank you very much for joining us here from Tauntaun HQ, based in Ireland. So we are slightly biased, but that round, certainly, if this was a boxing match, definitely went to Team Croatia.
So just to correct that a little bit, let's see if we can have a look at this from the Republic side. So I think it's safe to say that Anakin is probably going to... I think the hard 2s here. And the reason I think that yellow arc is likely doing a 1-bank bump into Obi. So I'm not entirely sure if he does the 1 hard, he actually has room to barrel roll, right? So that would be the only reason why I would consider the 1 hard was to barrel roll right and come to the right side of that debris.
Yep.
So with that option ruled out by that, now he might choose to do something different with this arc, but I can't see that happening, honestly. So with that ruled out, I would do the 2 hard. I don't think they have a 3 hard. Now that does mean that you are tempting it.
Possibly.
Because around the side of that debris cloud lives a pizza hut.
And they're not nice. As you say, you do not want to walk straight into one of them at all. So
no, I still think it's what you do, but you need to plan for that. You need to have a plan to be able to get out of the way of those, to have a pre-position ready for next turn. I think the 1 or 2 hard from Obi-Wan is pretty much in the books. I would imagine that Red is probably just doing a 1-bank right as well. Again, you're more than happy to keep a wee bit of range because you don't want to give Boba his rerolls. You don't want to overcommit and then have to either K-turn or jump over the top and take an unmodded or only 2 dice shot. So the longer you can keep those 3 die guns pointed forward, the better.
Yeah, unlike the fire spray that has 3 front and rear, the arc from the back arc is only 2 red dice. So slightly bad. If you can get in behind them, they're not as scary as, say, jousting them face to face. Nearly set here. Seems that Blue has got all of his done, bar Obi-Wan, who I assume that he will want to try and get some sort of CLT bullseye shot into Dengar for the eyeball. Especially with all those, all the force on both Jedi's are fully recharged. They've got 3 each, which makes them slippery little ships. At the minute, Jonathan has set all of his. Would you say that the Obi maneuver is probably the most difficult one to get right?
I don't think the maneuver's hard to get right. I think it's fairly obviously a turn towards, because if you don't turn towards, you're leaving those arcs completely isolated. So I think you have to turn towards. The decision after that is where you barrel roll or boost to. I'm not sure. The problem with barrel rolling is you are denying yourself that CLT bonus, so you're taking away some of your guns and you're not necessarily hurting Boba's chances all that much. If you boost forward, that means Boba doesn't have to boost
exactly
to get you at range 1. He gets to take his focus. That probably hurts you. I mean, again, I'm assuming that this is a 3 forward coming from Boba, but
I'm assuming that
I would say
I'm assuming it's going to be the 3 forward, which is a blue maneuver, which will get rid of that stress, allowing him to have an action. And I'm sure everybody knows how to play this game, but there's always people who are maybe new or have found TTS or heard about that. This is a great game that you can play online. So, not to kind of teach your granny how to suck eggs, as we would say in Ireland. Better to know exactly sort of what is happening. So the 1, 2, and 3 straight on the fire spray at the top of your screen are blue maneuvers. He has a 4 straight, but it's white, which means he would then keep the stress and he will absolutely want to get back into the fight as soon as possible. I think we're done here. Everybody sets arcs to go first. So
on the flip side, contrary point of view here, he could decide to go all in on that tugboat while the 2 heavy hitters are somewhat occupied.
Very true. Very, very true indeed. I guess we're going to find out.
I don't know if you could bank and boost Obi around that in such a way that you can get a shot. It does look like that debris is stopping that. In fact, no, the debris is 100% stopping that. But you could do a fast maneuver with yellow straight forward.
Absolutely. I mean, they can do at least, I believe they can do at least a 3 forward. So changing Anakin here again, and then resets it.
Well, the funny thing is, if you do overcommit with that arc, you do open up the possibility of Zuvio landing you in bullseye and then throwing you right in front of Anakin.
Which
and then Anakin is unmodded, probably not getting a shot.
So the force boost there from Anakin. We are all in what is now called the system phase. So this is when bombs can be dropped and all that sort of stuff. But now we're in the activation, and a forward there 3 by the yellow arc, taking a focus. Another 2 straight.
So he has in fact gone straight for Zuvio.
He has indeed. So Zuvio, with no fear, banks in 3 to the left. And now a decision for Beattie. If he is slooped with Dengar, he is then completely unmodded and could go pop. Oh, that is a decision. Uh,
Okay, so he has coordinated to Dengar to repair that blinded pilot.
that's pretty good. That is pretty good. Blinded pilot, not great on a ship. There is a move. Well will do. There is the predictable 3 forward by Boba Fett. So has got red in range, but will he boost or take a focus or a lock? I would genuinely probably take the lock, and it is that decision. So
I don't
Boba
know if I like that.
locks red. Only one die, which isn't great, and Zuvio is now, if he is religious at all, might have prayer beads out because that is a range 1 auto blaster 4 die hit straight to the face to Zuvio.
Yeah, Zuvio, I don't think is long for this world.
I can't see the Obi maneuver a little different, but we'll let that slide. I would really like to see a sloop here from Dengar that gives him shots in the red so the 2, and it's not.
No, that is. So that is a range 1 auto blaster shot into the rear of Obi-Wan.
Yep.
I like.
So no shot from red into Dengar, no shot from Dengar into red, no shots at all into Dengar at all. But here is the first auto blaster shot from Anakin Skywalker into Zuvio. Rolls the dice, gets 2 crits.
He's out all day long for that one.
All day long for that one. So 2 dice. Can he get? Oh,
no,
that's nearly dead. If we get a direct hit here, Zuvio is dead. 1 shot, 1 kill, and that is why, without even spending a charge on the crit bot, Zuvio is gone. Just like that. I'm not even going to put the damage on there because he's just gone. 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1 and is out of there. So I'll put him down to the bottom. And Stjepan from Croatia, 37 points. Jonathan Beattie from Ireland, 0. However, there's more shooting. So
yes, please.
We'll take that all day, every day. That is
2 party crits into Obi, shield and a crit into the hull. Nothing a doing.
That is pretty bad. Shields are irrelevant, and damaged sensor array. So that is a pretty good return shot to take the damage sensor array. 27 there for the 2 damage into Obi-Wan. So the score is a 10-point game. 37 to 27 currently. But now we are looking from so it's hit crits.
2 shields. I would say you were looking at a 1 forward here for Boba.
Absolutely. So 2 shields off the red arc, who I don't believe have any shots here at all. And half on over. So yeah, kept the stress as the 2 bank there is will not allow him to do a sloop next turn, which could be advantageous to Anakin, who could probably do a 2 hard and then a boost and
so,
get another shot in.
He is about to get a shot another shot into the rear of Obi-Wan here, because there is a ship in his forward arc.
Who didn't
so Red
fire.
has Dengar in arc, didn't shoot him because we couldn't. So now Dengar gets to take a shot.
And it
into
is
the rear. One with a target lock from the Old Blaster. Doesn't have Greedo this time.
Does not have Greedo, but that lock will be spent, surely. He doesn't spend the lock. Spends a force. Well, I'm a little surprised that he didn't spend that lock.
Yeah. Not to worry.
Say nothing.
He still has it for future.
He still has it.
He still has it for future, and
he still has it, and we've got a game on. We absolutely have a game on. So let's just check chat. Carson says, yes, small bids have helped us a lot in pairings. Yep, I think it's helped a lot.
Too many teams have gone all the way to 200. At one point, as I say, has served. Now some have, and I don't think large bids are the correct choice in this format. But some, especially when you're playing with a 5 and a 6, I think you want something just to give you that little cushion.
Well, with just over 25 minutes to go, this game is incredibly tight. Half on either of the battalions are only worth 21. Half on Dengar is worth 33. But Mr. Fett is about to write a book. So let us see.
Broadside. Broadside is the Y-Wing I was talking about earlier.
Yes. That's the very pack. So Zuvio, without shooting for Team Ireland, has utterly exploded with that direct hit. So Team Ireland down to just Dengar and Boba. And Croatia looking okay, bar a slightly smoky Obi-Wan Kenobi. And nothing else damage-wise on that side. Stjepan just checking, which is well within the rules. You can ask in real life, can I see your dial to guess where you might go? But Dengar is stressed, so to relieve that would need to do some sort of blue maneuver. I think the pace of this has been quite good, actually, compared to other matches that I've seen.
No complaints at all. I don't think they're racing, but they've been being deliberate. The pace has been.
I'd say it's been pretty solid. So for the next turn, if I was playing for Croatia here, I'd probably do a 3 forward from Red, a 1 forward, and probably bump into Anakin depending on whether or not he does a barrel roll. But I would assume I'd want Anakin as close as possible to Dengar.
I think there's a better possibility that a yellow possibly does like a 3 hard. You take a stress, but you put yourself in a better position. You get a free shot onto onto Boba. Yeah, I think there's.
I'm not so sure the 3 hard fits. I mean, it could. If you've played as much TTS as we have, it should fit.
3 hard. I mean, even if it doesn't fit, it's red anyway, so you don't really care. The worst that's going to happen is you're going to end up a little bit skewed.
True.
You're stressed. You're not getting action anyway. You don't really care if it just clips the back end of Dengar there. The 2, I think, just lands you on that debris, so you end up with a strain anyway, or a stress anyway. Sorry.
Yep.
But you give yourself. Do you know what? You might be okay. Probably.
Do you know what?
I wouldn't like to call it.
We'll let them decide. You're a captain on a very good one, but we'll let these guys make their own choices, I think. And we're about to see all dials are now down. So system phase is all over, and it is the K maneuver from red. So
Yeah,
big
so
4K.
it was either the K turn or the SE. I would have done the 3 simply because you don't risk this damage.
Yep.
You know, the overall outcome is pretty much the same, only you don't have a 1-8. Now, he didn't roll it, and he was unlikely to, but why give yourself that chance to roll a hit there?
Exactly.
You know, being slightly further to the left doesn't actually disadvantage you in any real way, so minimise your chances of errors.
Too hard to the right there from Obi-Wan, and for his action. Puts down his crit. Absolutely. I mean, that's a sign of a good player, in my opinion. Gets rid of the damage sensor, right?
So the reason why I would have reconsidered that 4K with red, Anakin doesn't really have a lot of options here. You know, without red there, you have the chance to do the hard 2 and then barrel roll out of arc of Obi.
Yep.
Also, if you had just done a 1 forward and bumped into Dengar, you force Dengar to do a 3 forward.
Yeah.
Or land right there, getting a blaster shot from the flank with Anakin. Now Dengar, there's a good chance that Jonathan has dialed in a 3 to make sure that Dengar cleared and got an action. But, I mean, I would force him to make that choice, to have dialed that in.
Yeah.
You know, as the Republic player, I would give him the opportunity to make a mistake.
Yeah. So it looks like we're going to get a target lock here from Anakin on the Dengar.
I would be surprised if it's not Boba.
Well, Boba has moved, so maybe not that bad an idea. We shall soon see.
By that, no.
Goes to Dengar. He was looking at that Jumpmaster a lot to see where he could go, and you're the two make sure he gets an action, which is pretty good. Dengar at the minute has no shot because his turret is facing to the left.
So it really comes down to
like it. Moving it to at least range 3, so that's not so bad.
Okay.
So big long range shot. One is obstructed, one isn't. So 3 dice for Boba if he goes into Boba. 4 dice if he goes into Dengar.
So he's going into Dengar. I think that is a mistake. Like, okay, yeah, you're one off halving Dengar, but
so there is the crit from the. Is that from Greedo? That probably was from Greedo.
Good.
And the 2 evades because they're not in the arcs and all that sort of stuff, so that actually can be held off. No shot from Obi. Now, who do you shoot here? Red. So red is at range 2.
You already put 2 shields in. They're both at the same range.
Yep.
I would say you're more likely to, let's see. So I would say next round, there's a good chance that what will happen is yellow will move in for the bump, and red will come in behind.
Absolutely.
So next round, you're more likely to be getting a shot onto red. Although, I mean, if Boba doesn't do a 3 bank away next turn, I'd be very shocked.
So the blended pilot.
See, I like this. I like this.
I like this.
Anakin without I spend this. I do.
I would spend that.
Game becomes so much.
I would spend that focus. So do not roll those dice. He hasn't decided. He has decided. So that is 3 hits. 4 dice has only 1 force left.
Only 1 force.
Only 1 force. Will he spend that 1 force? Because it will only give him 1 next turn as well.
Yeah.
So 1 shield. So just the 1, but probably the best ship to shoot. So we will put that on
That
here.
just shows you why I didn't like the 4K from the arc. Because if that arc had just done the one forward and bumped, and not gotten into Anakin barrel rolls out and is still unharmed.
Oh, so yellow, after clipping the gas cloud, gets 2 eyeballs but no focus because he's got this the stress from hitting the debris, and now another 3 die attack only has Boba Fett in range, and that's pretty good. That's hit crits. Nothing here for Boba to be able to get any rerolls, so 2 shields off Boba Fett. So down to just 1. My problem, if I was flying Boba Fett right now, would be quite simple. The clock is around 16 minutes to go, so still a few more rounds in this game in the Group C Game 1 of the XTC 2021 between Ireland and Croatia. And Boba, as Gary was alluding to earlier, needs to get out of as many fire arcs as he can. Obi-Wan's going to come in. Stjepan will probably want to block, as Gary says, with one or either of the red and yellow arcs. Get everybody else in for range 1 shots, which does not leave Boba very many ways to get out of this. So Gary, being a team captain, has just went in. It is a moth.
Yeah, so I was just letting him know that revealing the Zam card is a must, as is regaining the charge, though the target lock is a may.
Yeah. So we are back in again. I'm not actually liking where Boba is right now, and I'm finding it quite hard to decide where to put Boba Fett. And I've practiced with Johnny a lot for this tournament, and he can fly Boba very, very well. But normally he's got Zuvio helping out.
This is a 3 bank left for me all day long.
And say, okay, so if you were right, it would be, say, a 2 bank from the yellow to try and get the block if he doesn't do that, and then a 1 bank maybe from the...
No, it will be a 1 bank, because I don't think the 2 is blue. No, they are. Never mind.
They are two.
I would still do a 1 bank. I would do a 1 bank from yellow and barrel roll right to try and block that 3 bank away.
The problem with Anakin, however, is that he's in quite a bad position. So he is... he should actually have... No, so he cannot reposition using the Force, but he should actually have 1 Force as well, because we are now into the next round and dials are being set. So Gary just informing Stjepan about that to keep things all fair and the table state correct. He is allowed to do that as he is a team captain. So he says cheers back. I can see the chat on my other PC, which is kind of nice. So anything sort of handy?
I am obliged to inform them about any mandatory triggers, but other than that, I stay out of things.
Yeah. So Carson Ray says Zam charges are down, so now's the time to focus on Dengar. Was that in the last round?
I would be surprised if Dengar doesn't do either a straight or some kind of long bank maneuver just to go out and recharge. I actually don't hate a 1 hard right from Boba here.
I think... Go on then. My concern is that Anakin is not going to probably get anything apart from that 1 Force as a mod. Unless the yellow does it too, and he can then slip in behind him doing a 1 or a 2, and then get his own mod, like a focus or a target. Has he got a target lock? I'm pretty sure that is a target lock on Boba Fett from Anakin.
Second, I will zoom in.
Can you zoom in a wee touch?
Target lock from Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan has a target lock on Boba Fett.
Okay, so with the hull upgrade, instead of needing to do 5 damage for the half on Jonathan's most expensive ship, he will need to do 3 more. 1 shield, 1 hull, and another hull. So all guns on the Boba. That's a considerable whack of points. There was me thinking.
Mind, I want the 3 bank now. So, my first instinct was the 3 bank left in behind Dengar there with Boba.
Yep.
If that is the choice, that is very interesting.
Another bump and another lack of stuff. No.
So, I think I would be very tempted to just stay exactly there because you're getting both your rerolls on all of your dice. You're putting some real hurt into red. Oh, no, you're not. You're putting some real hurt into that Anakin.
Now, far be it from me to say anything, but there's been a couple of just with the larger base. So Dengar, obviously the largest base on there, but version 2 bought a medium-sized base, which the Arcs and the Fire Spray is. Those 2 maneuvers from the Jedi Generals are interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So we're getting a fire here. Nearly was 2 hits, but just the 1. Spends the Greedo charge.
That was a 2 bank from Anakin there. I think a 1 bank bits, so it doesn't push as far forward.
And Stjepan easily evades out with 2 natural evades. Does Obi have arc? No, he does not. Which now allows a range 2. Most likely unobstructed. Because there's nothing there to obstruct him. It's like, okay. So range 2, 3 into 3. 1 force for Anakin Skywalker, and that is not the best roll in the world. Now, he's got 2 rerolls because both of the arcs are an arc, so this is free. Not as much hurt as I would have expected with 2 rerolls, so ends up at this minute with just 1 hit. And that is all it's going to be. It's going to keep the focus for the return. Anakin spends his force, spends one of those over. And I would have. You are
keeping that ship 4-starred right now.
But with the remaining time left, it's not an awful lot. So yellow only has 1 target, has to go into Dengar, range 3, through a cloud, gets a hit crit. So 4 dice here from Dengar, absolutely fine. Turns that over. He has to turn the card. Mr. Beattie, turn the card. Let him see what it is. Or don't. That's all absolutely fine. Never worry. But
he regained the charge from Sam.
Yeah. 1 gets a reroll because of the arc shooting him, and there's why Boba is still excellent. Now, with the amount of time left in this game, Boba Fett has not dropped anything, and I don't think that would do very much as they are seismic charges.
I would probably drop anyway because there's a good chance that you can get that debris, and Obi-Wan doesn't really have a lot of choice on where to go here.
Not really. Obi-Wan is in the last 2 turns has been very thanks, Nick. Overlay should be fine. I forgot to put 2 red shields off from the early engagement. So everything is now currently correct on the overlay. So thank you for that. Glad to see you here. Hope your Pracky game went well earlier. Good to have you.
this is where we realise that target log taken many moons ago may be clutch, because that arc has taken 2. If we can get 3 more damage onto that arc is halved, and that is currently our win condition.
I would say that is probably one of the win conditions. I assume that Stjepan will probably ask Anakin to go to Lightspeed and get himself out of there. He's only 1 damage away from half health. That would be a quite colossal 32 points. The half health on the battalion is worth 21, and in a 10-point game with just 6 odd minutes to go, every shot from now on, as they do the entire match, count. But no.
So for me, this would be a Talon roll from Boba to the right. Yes, you deny yourself the mod, but I think you put yourself in a position to not take an auto blaster shot from Anakin if he gets cute.
Absolutely. So we are back at dials.
Potentially, you put some hurt into Obi-Wan if he ends up in a position close to that cloud.
Well, I think
I think the seismic has been dropped here because it's the last turn. There's no downside to it. Boba is definitely going to
if it could be the last turn. There is around 5 minutes to go, so it probably may be. They have been taking around 8 minutes a turn.
There is certainly there's not going to be a third round, I would say. No. So dropping this, it's not going to be wasteful. The worst thing that happens is you drop it, it doesn't blow anything up. You still have the option next turn to have one. Although I think the next turn, if he does the Talon roll, he's in a position. The seismic also gives you another shield on red.
It
so
does.
Puts you in an even better position to potentially half point that ship. Question here is Dengar. So you can turn him in. I don't think that's the correct call. Reason being, all you're going to do is get a shot onto yellow. Chances of you half pointing yellow are so very slim.
Very slim.
Dengar is one of half himself. So that is how we lose the game. So I think we try to avoid that. Possibly see like a 4K from Dengar here, just to make sure he's relevant next turn.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much every single ship that I can think of. Let us see if we are right. There are still dials to be set. So, seeing as neither Jedi General has got his done yet, there could be very big excuses from Stjepan to literally go as far left on your screen as possible to try and avoid getting any shots into them. Obi is already at half points, and I don't think he's going to put any of those 2 Jedis in any real danger at all. So I would say the half points on red and Boba staying over half points is the win condition for Ireland. Keeping your ship safe and trying not to take shots is Stjepan's 10 points separate these 2 players. And this is going to be the last round, as Obi still has not had his dial set yet. Stjepan is using 4 ships, but we're now all done. And should be... No, we're not all done. He's decided, no, I don't like that. Critical maneuver being made. Decision made. So, last round, I would assume, as you can see by the clock at the top, we're now in the system phase. So, the SAM card needs to be set. Any bombs that are going to be dropped need dropped at this point before any ships go. Jonathan has decided, I would say, he's kept the same maneuver, so we should be into the system phase. But let's see where these craft end up. And this has been a really low scoring but intriguing game in the XTC. But a win is a win, and a win by 1 point, like Ireland took in their Game 7 against Colombia, was still a tick in the W column. So let's see where we are. Everything is now set according to my computer. Everybody just checking everything just to make sure that they know what may or may not be coming. As I say, right now, just under 2 minutes. It will take at least 2 minutes for this turn to play out if there is a system phase. We should be ready to go here. I would assume we're ready to go here. But this will definitely be it. The match hangs by 10 points. But in a game of X-Wing, that means very little.
I think we can appreciate that this is one of those turns that really matters, but I think you just have to stop second guessing yourself.
Yeah, I would say so. If this is the last turn, then he has to drop the proton, whether it does clip anything or not.
At this point, it's 100%. It's 100% the last turn. There's no way we're getting another turn at this point.
No, I mean we're down to roughly around a minute and a half or whatever left in the game. The dials have now been set for the 5th time, so there has been a lot of thought and conversation going on right now in their heads about what is the best maneuver to make for your win condition that doesn't let the opposition do theirs. So I'm intrigued and on the edge of my streaming chair to see where we're going to go. So as you can see by my clock on the overlay, we are looking at, we're under 30 seconds. So Gary, you're completely right. To be fair, the in-game clock has just beeped. You may have just heard that. So absolutely, that is it.
I mean, even at 4 minutes, the likelihood of another turn after this was so very slim. So I don't think we can even really say, either player was so playing. Like, it's a very important turn. The chances of another turn were so highly unlikely. I would imagine both players have just agreed that it's so unlikely they might as well be happy with their decisions.
Well, Stjepan has now set his final dial for the 104s, so I assume that we are now in system phase. You will know when it is because Jonathan Beattie's red hand there. I hope you've got that, folks at home. We'll put that over the. It's the Ulster flag, which is, we say flags because we're idiots. You will see the red hand go over to where Boba's bomb dropping thing is, just on the Ireland logo, to drop one of his seismics. I am now kind of wondering why we're still in movement phase, because now this is actually dragging this out a lot. They've been on this turn for nearly 9 minutes. So double checking, rechecking, double checking. So he's changed Obi twice, he's changed the 104th twice, he's changed Anakin once. There is another change here. Looks like, I don't want to say we're set any longer. We'll just see what's going on. But this is a very tense ending to this first game in Group C between these two countries. So we can only hope they get onto flying. That would be kind of nice. And another change there from Stjepan. I think I am actually going to call it. I think they are going to go. I think we're good. So system phase it is. Drops the seismic charge on a 1, that may well clip that debris cloud. That is how seismic charge works. It is not where the ships are. You want a ship to be close to the debris that's blowing up.
I mean, even seeing it, it looks very close.
It's very close. It's very, very, very close. It's like a small ship base and a half is range 1. So a barrel roll from the Ark after doing the 3 bank. Is he trying to get Boba in here? If Boba has done a 2 somewhere, that will be okay. Yellow, I believe, will be safe because I don't think it hits the debris in the middle of your screen. Takes a target lock as his action. A hard 2 from Moby. So this, as long as it isn't a crit, he is fine. So
only saving grace. Anakin will allow him. Anakin will not allow him. Sorry.
Now there's a decision.
So here's your choice.
Here's your choice. Do you
can you get 3 damage into that arc, or do you try to get the final damage into Obi-Wan and bank that seismic is going to take out 1 point?
I don't think it's the final. I am pretty sure.
No, as in the seismic will bring him down to 1 if it hits that debris.
If it hits that debris,
1 damage.
He would need 1, or he has got the ability to boost to the right, but then we'll get, 2 shots from the arc. Oh, and this is why we watch quality X-Wing, because this decision will be huge. So 2 shots are going into Boba Fett anyway. But one of them is only a 2-die attack. So maybe just staying there. You would take the focus?
I think you just... So, my reasoning being, if Obi-Wan takes this shot, you have potential. Well, you already have the rerolls from those arcs. That's 2 rerolls. So you are already target locked.
Yep.
But taking the focus, what you're doing is, this isn't. I don't know that I like that choice.
He has decided to reinforce a new token in 2.0. So 5 red dice will be going into the back of the rear arc from Boba Fett. Stjepan will need to do 3 damage total to get half on Boba Fett, as red has no shot. Gary, can you check the rear arc of the red one?
100%, it's not close.
It's not close. So
red has no shot on either ship. Yellow, range 1.
So it looks like what we're looking at here is Jonathan trying his best and hoping that the red arc does not roll and evade. So,
with that,
seismic explodes. That'll be taken off and automatically takes a hit. So, Obi-Wan down to 1 hull left.
Yep, and Obi-Wan fires first here.
And Obi-Wan, because... Well, actually, Dengar should shoot first.
Dengar shot, but I can't think of a relevant shot. You're only getting 1 shot into red at range 2 through a cloud. The chances of you actually getting that ship to half are just so minimal. I mean, he tells Greedo to get the crit to at least make it a chance, but he needs both hits. He needs 2 eyeballs from red on the dice.
And
did get that.
just Natty evades. So well done to Croatia for that roll. Well done to Jonathan for that roll. But as Gary said, that was a minimal shot. So range 2 from Obi-Wan. 2 into 2. Boba will get at least one reroll because of the arc at range 1. And the dice say 1 hit. So let us see what we have. He has the bullseye. He also has 3 force here.
Yeah, so I agree with the target log. I wouldn't spend any force because with that reinforce, the chances of Boba taking more than 1 damage here are just so infinitesimally small.
I agree. But has that choice been made? I'm sure the two of them are discussing that right now. The reason that it is a 3-die attack is because of the calibrated laser target, which means you...
On the flip side, by spending, you guarantee 1 point of damage.
Absolutely. So does spend it.
So, yeah.
And that is...
We'll check his bubble. Gets the 2. So
we'll re-roll both of them. And gets...
Oh, next 2.
2. Oh, this game is going to the wire. The absolute wire. 1... that...
No, I believe that lack of a mate is the game because the chances of that arc not doing 1 point of damage.
So 2 hits from the rear arc from Boba. Reroll. Could have had 2. It's 3. 3 dice and 2 force.
That is a dead Obi-Wan.
That is a dead Obi-Wan Kenobi. Oh, this, what a finish to this game. Obi-Wan Kenobi now dead.
Right, if yellow gets more than 3 hits on its attack roll, that's it.
Correct.
And he has the target lock.
I'm seeing 4 dice. Why am I seeing 4 dice? There's a range 1 shot.
He spends
the lock. So for
1 more hit. Does it? There's the crit, and that is
the game. Can re-roll both of them, but sadly, even with the natty sides, there is the crit. The crit is structural damage and no shot from red. So the end of the game, and what a game that was. A structural damage on 2 Boba Fett means that Stjepan Pavuna of Croatia beats Jonathan Beattie by 86 points to 53, and Croatia are 1-0 up in this set in Group C. That was one hell of a game.
I told you we were in for a good one.
And I think they both delivered.
I would 100% agree. Some odd choices, right? But I mean, the zeroing in onto the tugboat, I thought perfect call there. Knows exactly what's happening with Dengar because he's stressed. He has to move forward. Boba can't get in. That tugboat is going to be totally isolated. Took advantage. Took it out. Tugboat nothing the entire game. Gave Dengar a couple of reinforcements or a couple of coordinates that never really got off the mark because he never had range. I think possibly around the start we saw Dengar do a 1 hard. I think if he'd done a 3 hard for a little bit more distance, he might get a nice torpedo shot into one of those aces at the start of the game. That could have been either a dead Obi-Wan there who doesn't get to shoot, or Anakin on half, which would have been the game.
Absolutely. So, chat, Garson Ray says good games, as does Jenny. We have Fan Langalan, ex-world champion, in the chat saying good game. So, it really, truly was, right down to the very last roll. Both of us flown very, very well. A couple of bumps that were maybe avoidable, but as it stands, it is 86 to 53 in favour of Stjepan and Croatia. Thank you so much, chat, for being involved. I hope you enjoyed that. If you can click subscribe, it really helps every single streamer. And we've a lot of streamers at this year's XTC. So thank you all for coming and joining us this time of night. Gary, apologies. We're 1-0 down.
If we have to lose as a game that you're happy to watch, even if I have to go and cry into my pillow now.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have you in the box, mate, and you're more than welcome anytime. So thank you to you. Thank you to chat.
So it was good to see a good game like this. So I think we have 6 more coming. So 6 more chances to bring it back.
Absolutely. So everyone in chat, Carlos Aguirre, Juan from Colombia, he is the captain of Colombia. Good luck to you in your games as well. My name is Seth Holocron, joined by Gary, the team captain of Ireland. Croatia take the lead 1-0. That is all she wrote. Thanks for watching. Till the next time. Bye.